It's time for What's Your Favorite on the WDW Reflections Podcast.
And this week's What's Your Favorite is going to be me. I'm handling the What's Your Favorite for this week. And so I'm going a little bit different. The last couple of weeks we've gone with things in the parks and food and things like that. I'm going to stay within Disney, but I'm going to go outside theme parks. So Ron and Tony, tell me, what is your favorite? Marvel or Star Wars? So we know that the Disney company owns both of those franchises now. Disney owns almost the whole planet Earth nowadays. So there you go. That's my question for what's your favorite this week. What is your preference? Marvel, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, comic books, and everything that Marvel encompasses, or Star Wars? So Ron, we'll go with you first.
This is a tough one. Disney has done some incredible stuff with Star Wars. If you've not had a chance to ride the new ride, Rise of the Resistance, guys, it's get up at 7 a.m. and get on that virtual queue. You will not regret it. It's an incredible ride. But if you're talking movies and just in general wanting to go sit down and watch a action movie, I would probably choose Marvel to go watch. If I had to choose between going and watching Star Wars movie or a Marvel movie, I'd probably choose Marvel. I think I'm gonna have to go with Marvel. I love superheroes and that whole genre and yeah, I'm gonna go Marvel.
All right, awesome. Okay, Tony, how about you? Gee, let's look at your background on our Zoom meeting right now. Let's look at your shirt. I'm looking behind your microphone there. It does appear that you're wearing a Star Wars shirt. So I have no idea. I have no idea where you're going. So what's your favorite between Marvel and Star Wars there, Tony G?
Yeah, I actually, this is no question for me, mostly because Star Wars, obviously, as I've mentioned before, was a great influence on my life and still is. And I love what Disney's done with it. I love the changes to the park. I enjoy the new movies a lot, actually, too. And as far as Marvel, I grew up with Spider-Man and some of those other characters that have come through there. And I love watching the Spider-Man films. I like the Iron Man films, but I'm not so much in love with them that I'll watch them over and over again. Those I've seen once and I'm kind of done with them. Whereas the ones that related to Star Wars, I'll watch those anytime, any day that I want to, and enjoy the ride. So my vote goes to Star Wars.
All right, awesome. Now, for me, if you're watching this on YouTube, then you can see that I'm wearing an Empire Strikes Back shirt. So my vote is going to probably be obvious too. But listen, I absolutely love Marvel. What Marvel has done, even before Disney bought them, starting back in 2003 with the first Iron Man movie, that was groundbreaking. And the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and this will be shocking to you, but honestly, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and let's take out the first 6 movies when I talk about Star Wars, and let's just talk about current Star Wars movies. The Marvel Cinematic Universe movies are better than the Disney Star Wars movies, at least the trilogy, the Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. I liked those. Visually, they were amazing. I'm not in love with what they did with the characters, the original trilogy characters. Now, if we're going to talk about Solo, A Star Wars Story, and Rogue One, those 2 movies are as good as the first 6. Rogue One might be my 4th or 5th favorite Star Wars movie. Rogue One is a masterpiece as far as Star Wars movies go. But the Marvel movies as a whole, when you consider all the way from Iron Man to 2003, all the way to what they're doing now, the Avengers and Endgame and everything. They haven't made a bad movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to try some of the Marvel attractions. We're getting Guardians of the Galaxy inexplicably in Epcot Center, but that doesn't change the fact that it's going to be an amazing attraction. And I haven't been able to do Guardians of the Galaxy, the Mission Breakout, which is at Disneyland Resort at a California Adventure, but I hear that that's pretty amazing too. Those are supposed to be really, really good, and I'm excited to try those. And I love everything about Marvel. And like I said, arguably the movies right now, except for Rogue One, the Marvel movies are better than the Star Wars movies are currently.
You want to know something funny, Dewey? Of all the new Star Wars movies, I don't like Rogue One as much as the others. I love the other trilogy.
Oh my gosh, really?
It's really funny. Yeah, that's the one of all of them. That's the one I've seen least of all. Wow.
I absolutely, Rogue One, honestly, it feels like A New Hope. It's a prequel to A New Hope. It just feels like a Star Wars movie to me. I absolutely love it. But to your point, Tony, you said you haven't rewatched the Marvel movies.
Not yet, because there's so many of them.
There is, but I've gone back and started, because now you can just Google it online and you can find the whole chronologically how to watch them and everything. And I've done that. I've started from the beginning and watched the entire series over again. They're amazing.
Yeah. I knew that I'd be the one out on this one, and that kind of drove my decision a little bit too. But yeah, I love the Marvels. I grew up with Spider-Man, and don't get me wrong, I had my sheets as a kid were Star Wars. So I have a love of Star Wars and have seen them. I'm kind of with Dewey on Rogue One, though. I really enjoyed Rogue One.
Absolutely love Rogue One.
You know what's funny with Rogue One for me? I felt that it was a nice. My impression when I came out of there was, okay, they played with the toys nicely in this movie. That's about it. But as far as Marvel, have you guys seen any of the Disney Plus series?
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on WandaVision. Now, they've all been good. I like Falcon and Winter Soldier. I love how, we have a new Captain America now and everything. I love that character. Loki was amazing. Absolutely loved Loki. But WandaVision, holy smokes. WandaVision was like nothing I'd ever seen before. It was ridiculous how good that was. I love the Disney Plus Marvel series. Mandalorian, ridiculous. It's the best Star Wars we've seen since the original trilogy. Absolutely love Mandalorian. Can't wait for the new Obi-Wan series. That's 2022 is going to have a ridiculous amount of Star Wars coming out. There's the Andor series is coming out. The new Obi-Wan series is coming out.
I'm looking forward to Andor, really, but oddly enough, about how I feel about Rogue One, I am looking forward to Andor. I hope K2SO is in it.
Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, I'm surprised they don't have a church dedicated to them, because they are almost gods among men at this point.
The good thing about Filoni is he was pretty much George's apprentice, so he's got a lot of the knowledge in him.
Absolutely. So I'm really looking forward to what's coming in Star Wars. I know that it's in good hands. The Mandalorian was groundbreaking and phenomenal, and it feels like Star Wars more than the sequel trilogy has for me. I'm not saying I hate those movies. I do like them, and visually stunning, but they're not the best of the Star Wars. But The Mandalorian absolutely was. So
you guys want to know a cute side fact? Jon Favreau, I found out consequently, was an usher at the movie theater where I used to see Return of the Jedi in Queens. So it's kind of weird to think. He was talking about it on the show. He goes, "Oh yeah, when I used to work at RKO Keats." I'm like, "What? That's where we used to go."
That's really cool.
That's so cool.
Jon Favreau might have shown you to your seat, Tony.
For all I know. Right?
So, long story short, I never gave an answer. My favorite is Star Wars for the entire franchise versus Marvel, and Marvel is amazing. but going back to little 6-year-old Dewey, my first memories of a movie theater, honestly, is walking out of the Levy Twin Cinema in North Little Rock, Arkansas when I was 6 years old and crying because Han Solo was frozen in carbonite. I can remember that. That's one of my earliest memories. And my love of Star Wars goes back to, going back that far. Absolutely love Star Wars, even though I'm not the happiest about the sequel trilogy. I'm excited for what's coming, and I think that and with Galaxy's Edge and stuff, it shows how dedicated Star Wars is, or how Disney is dedicated to incorporating Star Wars into their brand and everything. So I'm excited for the future. Star Wars gets my vote.
Listen to the complete show on your favorite podcast streaming services, now including Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Find us online at WDW Reflections Podcast. Tune in each week for a new episode of What's Your Favorite? Here on the WDW Reflections Podcast.